Hey y'all, about 10 minutes late, guys. Roughly 10 minutes. My lighting is horrible today, so I was trying to get it together, but did not happen. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm giving a couple minutes before I discuss my topic, the first, the second, the third, and the fourth amendment. If you are listening to this, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, Rise High Radio, and like the page on Facebook. I know it's Saturday. Everybody like we going out, we hanging. We don't want to hear no first and second, third amendment. That's okay. Y'all watch it tomorrow. Oops. So if you guys are tuned in, go ahead and hit that share button, hit those hearts, hit those likes. If you're watching, go ahead and click something. Say hey, something. I like him. That's the dude from Tony. My camera was doing that, going in and out. So I apologize. If it goes out, I'm gonna just delete the whole thing. But I hope it doesn't go out. I hope it stays. So I guess I'll just go ahead and get started. Thank you guys again for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with my Linda, the one and only. With Rise High Radio. I appreciate you guys coming in every week to discuss these topics with me. And as you can see, my topic on today is the first, second, and third amendment. First, second, third, and fourth amendment. I actually added the fourth amendment in because when I was doing my study, it made more sense. So if you are listening to this, go ahead and hit that share button for me, please, and share this podcast with Let's Talk About It with me. If you are listening, I do want you to respond to anything that you want to say or any dialogue that you have about this information or about the amendments or anything is it's all good. So there is, if when you're watching, there's a spot where you can go ahead and hit that comment, and I'll bring your comment to the forefront. And so once again, you see the topic. It's the first, the second, third, and fourth amendment. Last week I did the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th amendment. And if you guys watched last week, I said I was going to actually do all the amendments. I wanted to go through. I don't know. We don't visit these as often as we should because they are really important to us. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the First Amendment, okay? The First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting and establishing of the religion or prohibiting the free exercise It's messing with me. It's messing with me. But that's the First Amendment. The First Amendment is Congress can't, um, you know, hurt you or discriminate against you or even charge you in a sense for because you have freedom of speech, freedom of press, meaning anything that you write, or just freedom of being a peaceful individual. And actually that got cut off. That amendment got cut off. It says the peacefully assembling. So when they had that girl on the phone trying to call the police on them people that was peacefully barbecuing, they was exercising their First Amendment. So that's why they made all these memes about this big joke about it, because clearly they was just exercising their amendment. And it's so funny because they had that lady on there calling like, oh, they're barbecuing outside or they're having loud music outside. No, it's their First Amendment. Just like it's my First Amendment to speak how I want to speak and think how I want to think, and express the way I want to. So that is our constitutional right. Everybody kind of knows that. And we exercise that on a day-to-day basis. We exercise this constitutional right to have freedom of speech, freedom of what we want to talk about. That's why when we on Facebook or Twitter, I don't even have Twitter, or Instagram, we write what we want to, and we tell people, if you don't like it, hey, get off my page, because we do have that constitutional right. So that's the First Amendment right in front of y'all. The freedom of speech, the freedom of press, the freedom of people peacefully, and it's supposed to actually say peacefully assembling somewhere. So that is our first constitutional right. The second constitution talks about the second constitution is what a lot of people exercise and what a lot of people need to exercise. It's their rights, the necessary right of security for a free state, for people's right to keep and bear arms. We have the right to keep a weapon, to keep some type of arms, or some type of assembly or assemble firearm to protect ourselves, if it's registered. So the militaria means it has to be at least registered. You have to have a registered firearm in order to practice or to exercise this amendment, which is the Second Amendment right in front of you guys, the Second Amendment. So it's a freedom to bear arms. We have that right to protect ourselves as citizens, and we have the right to bear arms in the United States to protect our family and whatever property that we may have, so on and so forth. This Third Amendment is actually considered to be, it shouldn't even exist anymore, but they did it because soldiers were getting beside themselves. So they did write the Third Amendment, and the Third Amendment says no soldier shall live in somebody's house without their permission. Nor even in a time of war, they should live in someone's house without their permission. So I guess soldiers, back in the day, were going into people's houses and staying there without their permission, just because they were in the army or in the military. So this constitution, or this amendment, was written, which is the Third Amendment, and it says that no soldier is allowed to have a quarter in anyone's house, means stay in anyone's house without their permission. And of course that makes sense. I don't want any soldiers in my house without me telling them to come in. That, you know, so like I said, so this amendment was actually brought into place when they found out that soldiers was taking over people's homes and things like that. Even after the war, they were still trying to come in people's houses to take over their houses. So that amendment, the third amendment, was made for this, that no soldier can like set up shop or have a quarter in someone else's home without their consent or without the owner's consent. And I did look into why is this law even still around. I guess back in 2015 in Nevada, there was some individuals. It was individuals that actually the police came to their house and stayed there for like 9 hours in their house without their permission. So they did try to, you know, and they did try to use this amendment to, you know, kind of sue those police officers, because they're like, you're in my house, you setting up shop, and I didn't tell you to be here. You was in my house for 9 hours. It said 9 hours, no more than 9 hours, no less than 24 hours. So still you were in my house without my permission. You're a police officer. And they were saying that due to the fact that they were a police officer, this amendment did not apply to them. So the charges were dropped and it didn't go forth. So that was in 2015. So that was pretty recent that happened. But they tried to use this third amendment to say, why are these police officers in my house? And you know, nowadays we have a lot of police officers coming in and just taking over our homes, taking over our possessions, busting through the door, and doing things like that. So that's why I wanted to do I wanted to talk about the Fourth Amendment. And of course, the Fourth Amendment, because people can't use the Third Amendment because the police are not soldiers, they go to the Fourth Amendment to see if that can protect them. And the Fourth Amendment, of course, says that the people have the right to secure their person, their houses, their papers, against unreasonable searches or seizures, and not be violated, or no warrant. I'm sorry. They are able to secure all their things from being searched or seized, and shall not be violated, or no warrant shall be issued because of this. So, you know, when we get pulled over, you know, it's a lot of police brutality going on at this point. And, you know, the Fourth Amendment, this is the Fourth Amendment in front of you, is supposed to be here to protect people. They are supposed to be able to protect their person. And if there's no reasonable cause for them to, you know, search or seize anything, the Fourth Amendment is supposed to protect you, right? So this is in our Constitution. This is our amendment as citizens. This is what's supposed to protect us. And it got cut off a little bit because they only allow me to write 200 words. Didn't they know the Constitution was more than 200 words? But like I said, it should not be violated upon any probable cause. That's what it's supposed to say. So you have to have probable cause to actually, you know, search someone's person, house, papers, anything like that. You know, a lot of people have been leaning on surveillance cameras because that's probable cause, or, you know, that's when they have people to say something or tell them something. That's probable cause. But not to have your person, house, papers searched or seized without any probable cause. That's a violation. It is a violation. And a lot of this is happening right now. The Fourth Amendment is not being played out like it's supposed to. It's just not. So I have someone, Mr. Chris. He says he wants to talk about the Fourth Amendment. So yeah, it's happening right now, and it's actually being violated right now. So I'm going to bring Chris on, and he's going to give his, his introduction or his opinions about what he thinks about the Fourth Amendment. So I'm going to add him here, and we're going to do that. I think we're going to do that, and then we're going to do that, and then we're right there. Hi, Chris.
Hey, my Linda. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing? This is an interesting topic. This is really good. And
Yeah.
so I guess you just kept it to those few. Maybe future broadcasts you'd be talking about others, I guess. Can you hear me good?
I can. I was having some technical. So, Chris, you said you want to discuss the Fourth Amendment, and it's very interesting, and it's going on right now. So you go ahead and do your spiel.
Yeah, well, the Fourth Amendment basically talks about search and seizure. So one is searching, two is seizing.
Mm-hmm.
So one, what are they searching for? And two, when they find what they're searching for, they have the opportunity to seize it. But they say they can only, the Fourth Amendment say they can only do it uh, when they have a warrant.
Yep.
But a warrant have to be issued upon probable cause.
Probable
So,
cause. Absolutely.
and you hear people talk about probable cause all the time. They throw that term around a lot, but a lot of people don't really understand it, and they don't really explain it what it is. And it has to be supported by oath or affirmation. So all law enforcement officers take an oath of office, and they swear to uphold the law.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But what we've been noticing is a lot of bending of the law, a lot of rule breaking in order to obtain probable cause.
Yep.
And what prevents any officer from gaining probable cause? What prevents it a lot is keeping quiet.
Yep.
Which is the Fifth Amendment. Well, you're not talking about that tonight. And
That'll
so
be next week.
once they get probable cause, and what's funny about the Fourth Amendment is this: they talking about like they have to have a warrant issued by oath of office. But what about a citizen's arrest? A citizen doesn't have to take an oath of office, but you
Yep.
can put another citizen that's breaking the law under arrest, but you didn't take an oath of office.
Right.
You see, so that's a fine line right there.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
basically what this does is it just gives them a license to use and abuse their power.
Yep.
And I say that from my point of view because I've had multiple run-ins with the laws.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from where I come from.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you hear people say if you don't exercise your rights, you don't have any. So they really play on your dumbfoundedness.
Yep.
If you don't know something, they really play on it.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
and they make you go to the full extent of
The
your
full
knowledge of what you
extent.
know.
The full.
Of what you know, and you have to show proof. You have to show that you know these laws.
Yep.
Because if you don't, boy, I'm telling you, they will. Because let me just talk a little bit about probable cause. Now, this is in the Fourth Amendment, so we can talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
In order to get probable cause, an officer that's under oath have to have a reasonable suspicion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So, but a lot of people they don't understand what the elements of reasonable suspicion is or probable cause. A lot of people really don't know the elements of it. And when people explain it, they explain it so fast. And so it's hard to really understand it. And so if you don't fully understand it, you can't exercise your right. Let me give you an example. Let's say there's a doorway and you're on the outside of that door. Because what people don't understand and realize is a lot of these laws go in effect without it something being written down, without nothing being verbally said. Sometimes it's an action. So let's say you at a doorway, you're on the outside of the door, and I'm on the inside of the door. But there's no actual door. There's no screen there. There's no wooden door. There's no door that's really separating us. Like I can reach on the other
Right.
side of the door and grab you. You can reach on the other side. So I'm just saying this to kind of prove the point. I'm trying to explain it in the most simplest form, a simple way, so people can understand how we give over our rights all the time. So there's a
All the
doorway.
time.
I'm on the inside of the door. You're on the outside of the door. As soon as your foot crosses that threshold of the door, you have entered into a contract with me. This is subliminal. Like it's a game. It's not a literal game, but this is how tricky it is. As soon as you step across the threshold of that door, you have entered into a contract, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, because they taken this and made it into a law. So what a law is something that is in effect whether you believe it or not. That's just like the law of gravity says, if you walk off this cliff, only one way you're going to go is down.
You're gonna
Now,
go.
you don't have to believe in it. You can be like, I don't believe in that, and I exercise this. But that law, whether you believe it or not, it will show you that when you walk off that cliff, you will go down. So
Yeah.
it's important. It's very pertinent that we understand the laws that we are under. Even if we don't say we abide by them or want to abide by them. If you understand how to move, how to maneuver with what you are under.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of this, we ain't subjected ourselves to it. A lot of us grown in it, and we're born into this whole little system. But once you understand it, like that's why it's our duty. You say those who don't exercise their rights don't have any. So it's good and important to learn the other side of things. Not that you're trying to participate, but you want to understand so that you can maneuver. They call it being able to pass.
Yep.
And so I'm sharing with y'all right now like some real deep secret stuff that I probably ain't supposed to know. But I don't care because I'm not sworn to secrecy. But we all need to learn how to pass.
Yep.
So to get across that bridge, you need to know what to say, how to say it. And you need to know what knowledge you need to have and what response you need to give in the right way.
Yep.
So
because and I'm gonna piggyback off of that, because questions to go through where somebody else may only have 50. When you say pass, we have to know those 1,001 questions. And like I said, and another person may only have to know 50, which is easy. But we have to be knowledgeable about, like you said, the laws that we're in, the laws that we're under, that we may not really believe in or want to believe in, but we still have to know those things. My grandmother always said that I would rather have a gun and not need it than need a gun and not have it. That's
right.
That's just bottom line. I would rather know this knowledge for myself and not need it ever in life, but then to not have it and when I need it to save my life. So.
And I don't know if you knew or any of the listeners that's listening knew, the powers that be, they have requirements that they have to go inside of every different thing and learn it. Like they have to learn every religion. It's one of their requirements. So they have to understand this stuff and learn it and learn how to get through each one of them. These are hurdles. These are hurdles in their passing. So, man, let me tell you, oh boy, it's a lot. We're not gonna go there, but it's a lot more that I can share. I'm gonna leave it alone. But
yeah.
So basically, with the Fourth Amendment, they have to have in order for them to get a warrant, they have to have they first have to be a officer, who have taken an oath or affirmation of
Right.
office, and the warrant can't be issued until they have a reasonable suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come in to search, they have to name the particular property, the particular person, where it is, and they also, in order to seize it, they have to show that some type of law was broken. And let me interject this. We follow what's called statutes and codes. The Library of Congress is full of them. It's like billions of them, and they change every day. So you will never be able to follow every one of them. So you can kind of understand the precedents that's been set here and how it's designed for probable cause to happen.
Yeah.
So there's really no way around it. So it's combative from beginning to end, which means you have to know this stuff literally by rote in order to go back and forth with officers, because they train them over and over and over and over, and they got it down. They understand what it is, and a lot of us don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, and you made a valid point that the laws change so much, and attention to, like, oh, this bill was passed or this bill was passed. They don't pay attention to those, which is very important for you to kind of, I'm not asking you to be a political, person, but have a political mind state that you can go in and pull that stuff out when needed. I'm not asking you to study the laws, every single day of your life, but at least know what it is and what the United States Constitution has in here for you. Like, these are your rights. And if you don't know what your rights is, that's just like if I signed a deed to a house, whatever, and it says at the end of the 12 months, we're going to take our house back. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? I need to know that thing, or I would kind of change it up or switch it up. I wouldn't buy that house if they want it in 12 months, So those are important things. We need to look at the small print, because we forget to look at the small print of things at times. And the small print is what's going to help us, because that's how us being oppressed are kind of, I don't even know what to say, kind of oppressed, because we don't look at the fine print.
Well,
Because we don't look at the fine print.
Here's some fine print for you. These laws, these amendments, these constitutions, they were supposed to apply to the flesh and blood human being, but they've been fashioned so they only apply to the citizens.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. These laws originally was designed to apply to the flesh and blood human beings, but it has been altered over time where it only applies to you as citizens.
Yeah. And so, actually, if we want to get technical, we were not USA citizens, but that's neither here nor there. That's my other discussion. That's my other discussion, because that is a topic too.
Right. So I have a question. Why have certain amendments been ratified and other ones haven't?
Yeah.
That's a question to answer.
But I'm going deep as the weeks gone. I've put on my heart, and it's been put on my heart to really, really fine tooth this Constitution.
That's when I saw this. When I saw the topic, I was like, I got to get in there.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I got to take part in this. I got to have a part. So,
I appreciate it. And if anybody else is listening, if you have something that you want to say about the First, the Second, the Third, or the Fourth Amendment, or even have questions for me or for Chris in regards to like what is it, or whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and comment on the comment section, or chime in if you want to. But I just really want my people to be more educated and diverse in the knowledge of things, that's right in front of us, and it affects us every single day. Every single day. Yeah.
They're gonna go back and listen to this. They're gonna be telling everybody, "Oh, you need to go watch this. Listen to this. They dropping some nuggets on there."
Yeah, because it's really important, Chris, that like I said, that we understand these laws that we're under. That
That
of course
that
wasn't
we
designed for us, but we have to be under it.
And we continuously put ourselves under or subject ourselves to them.
Mhm.
So the only way to liberate yourself is something you have to do. It's something that has to be done.
Yep.
We're so lazy. We're a lazy society. We're lazy as a people, period, that we always want either something given to us, or we want somebody else to do what we need to do, or what we should be doing.
Right.
And that keeps us in a rut,
Yeah. So I'm trying to do the most easiest thing and kind of like go through the amendments for you guys. So even when you're like, what did she say about this amendment? You go ahead and search Rise High Radio, and like I said, you're gonna have all of them right there in front of you and kind of broken down so you can understand what it is, because I think like 67%, 73%, something like that, are visual learners. So they learn more by actually hearing somebody say something. Other people can just read it and get it.
So I have a question. Is there anybody out there that have experienced like what we're talking about, this Fourth Amendment, any type of search or seizures? Like, have you had an experience where you encountered an officer, whether at home, on the road, or with somebody else while they experienced that? Like, we would love to like hear an experience like that. I think that would be great. Share some insight on it, and what was the outcome of it. So.
And usually the outcome is just like messy. It's usually messy.
Not all the time, they might have somebody that might have had a good experience. I mean, a good experience.
The high percentage.
They might have a lot of people that have had a good experience,
I can tell you my experience, and I actually went to jail.
Yeah,
I actually went to jail.
You don't look like that person been
exactly. Jail. And I wasn't either. I was like, what did y'all better
what
get off of me?
You have possibly done? What in the world?
I went to jail because I didn't know the Fourth Amendment. I didn't know the Fourth Amendment. I didn't know that they could not search me like that, or they could not do all that extra stuff without a probable cause or reasonable cause for their search.
Speak on it, Nylinda.
So
speak on that.
I went to jail. Of the not knowing. So
what did you learn from that experience? Like help these viewers out here to understand, like if that situation was to happen again. I don't know if you're about to share like the details, like the intricate details, but if you were, like, from that experience, if it were to happen again, what would you do differently?
I would have immediately told them that they could not open my door. They opened my car door and went in.
Oh, so you was in your car?
I was out of my car. They opened up my car door and went in.
Oh, wow.
So they just opened up because I didn't I guess if I would have locked it, I guess that's what I keep on thinking about. And this happened like what, 12 years ago or something like that.
Oh, it
But
was
I
a
guess
while
if I would
ago.
have locked it, they wouldn't have been able to get in it. But I
So,
didn't know I could stop them right there to say, you can't be searching my car.
right. So at that time, were cell phones popular and like doing the videoing and social media and all that?
No,
Oh,
nobody was like really had the camera out there, and I didn't even think to grab a
I
phone,
mean, if I was there, I would have got my camcorder and be like, I'm filming this. Y'all
Yeah, I
messing
mean,
up.
it was insane how they did it. And they just clearly walked all over us. They clearly just
Wow.
walked all over us.
Oh, so it was more than you.
It was me
It
and
was more people.
yeah, it was my ex-husband actually. But they just
Oh.
clearly walked all over us like, oh, y'all don't know what's going
So
on. So let me just open up your
he
car
wasn't
door.
abreast he
Oh,
wasn't abreast of the laws either.
he had something going on. I think he just wanted to shut his mouth. But me, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know my Fourth Amendment. I didn't know that I had that right to tell that police officer, do not open up my car door. Do not touch my property. Where's your documentation? Where's your paperwork? And police brutality that's going on right now, they probably would have got angry at me and cussed me out. But the way things are going now, because people are so, I don't think I has been quiet because he knew our life was at risk.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, but me being me, I would have been like, don't touch my, if I knew my amendment and I knew my right. Hey, cuz, both of my cousins is actually on here
Okay, look
right
like you have
now.
some comments. They just speaking. Hey, cousin.
Yeah,
So
hey,
have
cousin.
any of the cousins had any experiences like dealing with this Fourth Amendment and the Fourth Amendment rights? So
So
I
I'm
don't.
going to put that Fourth Amendment back up really quick. And it says,
The right of the
nobody,
people,
go ahead, Chris.
the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause,
Yes.
supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Yep. So has anybody had a law enforcer to snatch open their car door like they did mine and took me to jail?
Oh, wow.
Snatched open the car door and took me to jail. So, like I said, if I knew my Fourth Amendment and I knew it well, I still had a good lawyer, and it still didn't, I still was able to get out of there respectfully. But if I knew my Fourth Amendment, I would have said that immediately. Like I would have made my rights known immediately to that officer to let them know, hey, you are violating my constitutional right now. You're just opening up my car door for no reason at all. So has anybody had that experience where they just opened up your stuff, like they just walked in your house, they just took your papers, they just took? I know I have, and maybe that was what got me so strong in my studies as as a social worker and as organizational leader. I just, because I see there are so many individuals that are being violated, us Black people being violated because of the unknowing of what we need to do.
Right. So a lot of times they do walk over you, or they do try to trample you if they feel like that you don't know.
Yeah.
And somebody say they tried the ignorant or who they deem to be ignorant. Wow,
Exactly,
that's good.
exactly. So he said who they deem to be. So of course, and I talk about it, if y'all can go on Rise High Radio, I always talk about stereotypes and how people put this persona that people are such of a way. Um, that's what they do, you know. That's what they do. They have this persona, and it's just a stereotype people, but it's your job as a officer of the law to cut that bias out or cut that stereotype out. It's my job as a social worker to cut out the stereotypes and to cut out being biased. So that is under your oath. That is under my code of ethics, not to be biased and not to be stereotypic. And John said that, you know, um, they deem you as ignorant. Definitely unfair in regards to that matter, you know. Just deeming you as somebody or deeming you as this or deeming you as that, and that's how a lot of these um unlawful searches happen, because they deem you to be something, or they deem that you move in weight, or they deem this or they deem that. But as your constitution, what you have in front of you is your Fourth Amendment, and it is your constitutional right to say no if you don't have a probable cause. If there's no probable cause as to why you are touching my property, um you can't do it. Now, I want you to use your intelligence too. If you're the only person there, I want you to be knowledgeable about the hatred that's going on here too. I want you to be mindful about that, and then bring this up to like a little. They opened up my car and then I went to jail at the end of the night. So and like I said, that was something that I did not know. I didn't know about our constitution. So if you do have some stories that you want to share, you could go ahead and put it in the comments section, or you can tune in and I can put you in the forefront. But my objective or my goal for this session and for the sessions to come with my Linda, let's talk about it, is to educate um, everybody about the amendments and the law that we're under. So like I said last week, I went kind of backwards and I did the 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment. But this week, I did the first, the second, the third, and the Fourth Amendment. And of course, next week I'll be doing Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, and Eighth Amendment. And I want you guys to really understand what laws we're under and what your Constitution is about. What's your constitution? Um, so I appreciate you guys for coming in and actually listening to this information. If you are listening, go ahead and hit that share button, so everybody else can get this valid information that I'm presenting to you guys. Um, I just want everybody to be aware um, of what's right in front of you and what's important. What am I trying to do? Okay, well, um, what's important that we may take, that we might not take in consideration always. I was trying to put, so, okay. So once again, this is Rise High Radio with my Linda. Let's talk about it. Like I said, if you are listening, go ahead and hit that share button for me. Tune in every Saturday at 10:30. Now y'all know I'll be late, so 10:35, 10:37-ish. I will be here. And next week, like I said, I'm going to talk about the Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, and Eighth Amendment, so we can be knowledgeable about what is in our Constitution and what rights we have. I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys to the utmost. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and then go to Facebook and subscribe. Once again, this is Mylinda with Rise High Radio. Let's talk about it. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Be safe, be easy, and I love you guys. Peace.